few minutes late. Wouldn't be me though if I were on time, right? Let me just go in here and make sure that my videos are muted so I don't hear myself talk. Okay. All right, muted there. And I'm not even on the other one. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, now muted. All right, let's see. Who do we have here? Oh, I have to send a link to. Let me send that. I may be having someone join me too up on panel here for a little bit. I don't know. She may want to wait and see what it is I'm going to be revealing though first, because I think that it's right along the lines of stuff she wanted to talk about. I don't know, but let me get that out and then I'm going to just get started. So yeah, I got an update today from Jonathan Lee Rich's camp. I heard from Magnolia again, and yeah, so we're gonna have another lawsuit to be covering here. Actually, well, not gonna be. We do have another lawsuit to cover here, and that's what I'm going to be reading today. So most interesting. 1 second. All right. All right, got that sent out. Okay. So who do we got here? Who do we have here? Oh my god, a lot of people. So I'm going to skip saying hi for now because otherwise I'm going to delay getting the stream underway, and that's going to piss a lot of people off, I'm thinking. So let's just get this started. All right, so I wanted to show the screenshot I have showing that this has been filed in court, but that's going to have to wait because I'm just looking at it now for the first time, and it has everyone's address on it. So that's going to have to wait because I haven't had a chance to redact that. In fact, I just hurried up and redacted the lawsuit, the filing itself, or the petition rather, in the past 4 minutes. That's why I was late getting on here. So let me get this shared. So yeah, Jonathan Lee Riches is suing Unirock, aka Jason Smith. I think we all know that that's his name by now. And if we don't, well, now it's a matter of public record, thanks to this court filing. Interesting, huh? Oh no, I don't want that. I want this. Okay. Is that going to share? You guys see that? Yes, you can. Yay. Okay. Cool. Just get it back now. Okay, so yeah, here's the lawsuit. Let me scroll back up to the top. I think, let's hope I redacted everything. Yeah, I did. Okay. So, I do have the screenshot showing that it has in fact been filed in this county in Ohio. I was just saying though, I haven't redacted the addresses on that yet, so I cannot yet show that. But Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR, plaintiff v. Jason Smith, aka Rockalot, aka Unirock Live. Yeah. So type defamation per se, libel, slander, tortious interference with business relationships, intentional infliction of emotional distress. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in or not really quite familiar with this entire story, Unirock has recently set his sights on JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches. And in doing so, he has made a lot of claims without any proof or evidence or basis in fact, really, and has been sought after and intentionally trying to have him removed from platforms because for some reason Unirock thinks that he's entitled and enlisted to be the judge, jury, and executioner of who's allowed on social media platforms for all of us to enjoy. So in doing so, he's kind of angered JLR and he's threatened JLR's business. And that has also in turn angered the team and the people who work with JLR. So this is, from the sounds of it, and this hasn't been stated, this is my opinion, it kind of sounds like this is a collaborative effort almost, and shutting him the fuck down. To which I applaud. I do. I absolutely do applaud that. And I want to just point out here too, because I know there's been some recent emailings that some people haven't had the pleasure of enjoying. Um, of course, I say that sarcastically. I like to point out that these same types of emailings, or rather the same type of trolling and fuckery, is exactly what went down during Without a Crystal Ball's lawsuit from Toddy Westbrook. And it seems to be following the same exact pattern. Now, this court case, or this filing rather, this petition rather, was filed yesterday, from what I understand. And more importantly than that, it's arguable that Jason knew that this was coming because, as some people have been pointing out in chats recently, that JLR in the past has sent these cease and desist letters through email. Well, this one was sent certified mail through to several addresses to ensure that it found its way to Jason. And that's the first step you do before you file a lawsuit against someone in this regard. And they made sure that they did that properly. You don't go to these extra steps and extremes to do that unless you have the complete intention of filing lawsuit should you feel compelled to. And they did. They felt compelled to. So I would even argue that Jason saw this coming days ago, weeks ago, since the 29th when he received his cease and desist letter. It would also explain why he was so desperate to try to win over the court of public opinion first, and by characterizing it as something other than a cease and desist letter. And he even tried to gain the support of other content creators by lying to them and insisting that they were included in this threatening email. There was not a cease and desist letter. So I just want to point that out there before any more discussion goes on about these emails or whatever, this trolling in the future. That is all. I also have a statement and a comment, or rather, from JLR's camp. I will be reading that. In fact, I think I might read that first so people can understand maybe a little bit more about this as I go forward. Let me do that. So let me just turn this off. What? I don't know what I just said. Go away. What is that? Okay. So I'm not going to show the email because like I said before, even though I have full permission to share anything and everything in our correspondence, at my discretion, I still find it to be kind of rude to show someone's actual text emails, without explicit permission. So I'm just going to read from it. If I need to show anything in the future, I'm sure I can and I will. But for now, I feel most comfortable just reading this. So here we have. Okay. I opened the email today and I read, "Hi, Aaron. I hope you're doing well. I mentioned the other day that I'd have more info to share soon. As you saw in the cease and desist, we had set the deadline as May 2nd for Unirock to retract and take the videos down. But as you know, immediately upon receipt of the cease and desist, he proceeded to do a series of live streams in which he made up even more preposterous lies while continuing to repeat the same lies we called out in the first place. So we began to draft the defamation lawsuit pretty quickly after sending out the cease and desist. In fact, it had already been mailed by the time you reached out to me last week about quote unquote Lettergate. The lawsuit for defamation, libel, slander, and tortious interference of business relationships was officially filed yesterday in Ross County, Ohio. We expect service to happen sometime today. So he may not have even been served yet as I go live right now. Now, according to Ross County court records, Unirock has a history of dodging service and forcing the courts to enter default judgments on him. Since he brought his mother into the situation in such an aggressive way, we added her to the suit. He also seemed to confirm that her address is correct by way of his wild claims that she was in fear for her life. So both parents were included in part to ensure the lawsuit is served, and also because he dragged his mother into this by making up false claims that she was quote unquote threatened. Going forward, we will be filing amendments to the suit to include additional exhibits proving false statements he's made since the cease and desist was sent. The malicious lie that his mother was threatened will certainly be included. Oh. All right. Potential spam, it said. Okay. So the malicious lie that his mother was threatened will certainly be included. Additionally, we intend to add Unirage to the lawsuit since she has inserted herself into this travesty and has herself contributed false statements over the past 2 weeks. We wanted to reiterate that these legal actions are not something we wanted to do, but we felt forced by Unirock's extreme disregard for the truth. Jonathan and I have been in a state of disbelief for the past 2 weeks, watching his behavior and the fallout from his mountain of false claims. I really think he thought he could say whatever he wanted about JLR and people would just accept it at face value. Clearly, his intent was to drum up support for his imaginary war with JLR. We are all business when it comes to the content we post. We don't get involved in online drama because we are laser focused on building and growing the channel. Over the last 5 months, we've worked nonstop to build out the channel while also getting the new website up and running, merch store, branding updates, channel memberships, etc. The amount of work we put into the channel on a daily basis would probably shock most people. We are also very proud of the audience and support we've built for JLR's work. To say we have big goals and ambitions for the channel is a vast understatement. Having someone like Unirock thinking he can threaten our business is completely unacceptable and won't be tolerated. We hope that's been made clear to anyone who might think about emulating his behavior in the future. I attached a screenshot of the filing. Okay. And yep, okay, so that's their statement. And I also have additional statement to add to that, but that's going to come after I read this because you know, it's not pertinent at this time, I don't think. All right, so let's get reading then. All right. Complaint, Jonathan Lee Riches, etc. Is brings this complaint for defamation against defendant Jason Smith, Unirock, aka Rockalot, Clarence, and Sarita. Plaintiff is an independent journalist who covers true crime cases nationwide by traveling to locations of interest and reporting from the scene of his YouTube channel. JLR Investigates for his 46,000 subscribers. Plaintiff has dedicated his life to helping people, bringing attention to cases that have gone unsolved and bringing closure to families. Defendant runs multiple YouTube channels and has repeatedly published defamatory statements about plaintiff on his channels, Rockalot and Unirock Live. Defendants have published numerous false and defamatory statements about plaintiff, accusing him of criminal activity, falsely portraying his work as a journalist, and attempting to humiliate and damage his reputation in the eyes of his subscribers and the public. Specifically, in live stream videos published on defendants' YouTube channels, defendants made the following false and defamatory statements about plaintiff. Defendant accused plaintiff of stalking, harassing, and pretending to report and troll so he can make money off of unwitting people. Defendant defamed plaintiff by referring to him as a quote-unquote tragedy pimp, as he knowingly and falsely stated as fact that plaintiff does not actually look for missing people and that his work is not actually reporting. Defendant falsely stated that plaintiff is not the press and stated as fact that he is a stalker and that he steals identities. Defendant falsely stated that plaintiff made a social media post about, quote, Nick, when he knew this to be untrue. Defendant maliciously attempted to dehumanize plaintiff by stating as fact that he is not a, quote, normal human being. Defendant repeatedly and falsely stated that plaintiff was not in the Bell Creek Nature Preserve searching for Sarah, a missing person, despite many hours of video evidence to the contrary. Defendant falsely stated that, quote unquote, Betty, another YouTuber, helps him in his job and works with him, even though it is well documented that JLR works as an independent journalist. Defendant admitted his malicious intent to defame and humiliate plaintiff by stating to his audience that he is, quote unquote, focused on trying to embarrass him. God damn it. All right, I think. Okay, now it's done. Sometimes it goes twice, sometimes it only goes once. I don't know. I'm guessing it depends on the type of call that the fire department is issuing out. All right, let's carry on. Sorry about that. That doesn't always happen. Sometimes it does. Nowhere to go. There we go. Okay. See exhibits A and B. 5. These statements were made with actual malice, with knowledge that they were false, or with reckless disregard for their truth or falsity, and were made with the intent to cause plaintiff harm and to encourage others to engage in harassment against him. 6. Defendant's statements are defamatory per se as they accuse plaintiff of serious criminal offenses, harm his professional reputation as an independent journalist, and are intended to cause him humiliation and intentional emotional distress. 7. Defendant's conduct has caused plaintiffs to suffer damages, including but not limited to damage to his reputation, harm to his ability to earn a living as an independent journalist, and intentional emotional distress. Count 1, libel. From on or about March 30th, 2023 to present, defendants have carried out a campaign to defame plaintiff. Defame plaintiff. Defendants have carried out their malicious campaign to permanently harm and damage the plaintiff through the publishing of false statements of fact online, through YouTube videos on defendant Jason Smith's channels, and through defendant Jason Smith's Twitter account via tweets which contain false statements of facts. 9. From on or about March 30th, 2023 to present, defendants published on Twitter and YouTube false statements of fact regarding plaintiff, which include but are not limited to affirmative statements that plaintiff is a stalker, plaintiff doxes victims and or their family members, plaintiff is a tragedy pimp, plaintiff is a scammer who is scamming his YouTube subscribers, plaintiff does not search for missing people, plaintiff is not a reporter and does not report on any news in his videos, plaintiff is connected to a wider network of frauds, plaintiff goes after women, and plaintiff approached the homes of victims. 10. Said written statements concerning the plaintiff are false and defamatory. They import a charge of an indictable offense involving moral turpitude or infamous punishment. They injured the plaintiff's trade, business, or occupation, and they subject plaintiff to public hatred, ridicule, or contempt. 11. Said written statements concerning the plaintiff attack his competence and ability to manage his business through Ross County, Ohio, and nationwide. 12. Said written statements were published with malice and were intended to injure plaintiff's business reputation and his personal standing within the community, or at a minimum, defendants were negligent when they made the disparaging statements. 13. Defendants' statements constitute libel per se, and therefore Ohio law presumes that plaintiffs have suffered damages. Furthermore, as a direct and proximate result of defendants' defamatory statements, plaintiffs have suffered actual and special damages, including, without limitation, loss of business earnings, injury to their personal and business reputations, and mental anguish and humiliation. 14. Defendant's conduct was performed with actual malice and or reckless disregard of the plaintiff's rights. 15. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's actions, plaintiff is entitled to judgment against defendants jointly and severally, I don't know, I can't, in a sum in excess of $25,000 for compensatory damages, a sum in excess of $25,000 for exemplary and punitive damages, injunctive relief, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Count 2, slander. I'm just making sure that the sirens aren't heading this way. Okay. 16. Plaintiff reincorporates by reference all of the allegations of this complaint as if the same were fully rewritten herein. 17. From on or about March 30th, 2023 to present, defendants have carried out a campaign to slander plaintiff. Defendants have carried out their malicious campaign to permanently harm and damage the plaintiffs through publishing false statements of fact online, through making verbal false statements of fact on defendant Jason Smith's YouTube channel. 18. Defendant's false and defamatory statements regarding plaintiff include, but are not necessarily limited to, affirmative spoken statements that plaintiff is a stalker, doxer, and that plaintiff is scamming his YouTube subscribers. 19. Defendant's statements concerning the plaintiff are false and defamatory. They import a charge of an indictable offense involving moral turpitude and infamous punishment, and they tend to injure the plaintiff's trade, business, or occupation. 20. Said statements concerning the plaintiff attack his competence and ability to manage his online business through Ross County, Ohio, and nationwide. 21. Said spoken statements were published with malice and were intended to injure plaintiff's business reputation and his personal standing within the community, or at a minimum, defendants were negligent when they made the spoken statements. 22. Defendant statements constitute slander per se, and therefore Ohio law presumes that plaintiff has suffered damages. Furthermore, as a direct and proximate result of defendant's defamatory statements, plaintiff has suffered actual and special damages, including, without limitation, loss of business earnings, injury to the personal and business reputations, and mental anguish and humiliation. 23. Defendant's conduct was performed with actual malice and or reckless disregard of the plaintiff's rights. 24. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's actions, plaintiffs are entitled to judgment against defendants jointly and severally in a sum in excess of $25,000 for compensatory damages, a sum in excess of $25,000 for exemplary and punitive damages to be determined at trial, injunctive relief, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Okay. Count 3. Plaintiff reincorporates by reference all of the allegations in this complaint as if the same were fully rewritten herein. 26. Plaintiff holds certain business relationships with third parties. Specifically, plaintiff has a partnership with YouTube where plaintiff runs a YouTube channel on their platform called JLR Investigates. 27. Actually, I'm not going to keep saying the numbers because that's annoying me now. At all times relevant, defendants had knowledge of the business relationships of plaintiff and YouTube. Upon information and belief, defendants attempted to intentionally and improperly interfere with the contractual and business relationship between plaintiff and YouTube. Upon information and belief, defendants intentionally and improperly interfered with the contractual and business relationship between plaintiff and YouTube, causing subscribers to cease doing business with plaintiff. Defendant's interference has substantially damaged the amount of business that plaintiff receives from YouTube. So they're alleging that Jason has decreased the amount of business they're doing. That's some fucked up shit. Sorry. I'm trying to keep this like non-emotional from my point, at least for the beginning part, but sometimes I slip up. Upon information and belief, the tortious interference against plaintiffs is part of defendant's longstanding agenda against the plaintiff in attempt to quote-unquote cancel and shut down plaintiff's YouTube channel. Defendants, without justification, intentionally or negligently, interfered with plaintiff's business relationships by tagging YouTube to tweets, encouraging defendants' Twitter followers to do same in a targeted campaign of harassment against the plaintiff. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's torture, has damages of $25,000, and defendants jointly or severely are liable for those damages. Oh, okay. All right. Damage. Okay. 34. Defendant's conduct was performed with actual malice and or reckless disregard of the plaintiff's rights, such that the plaintiff should be awarded punitive damages against the defendants in excess of $25,000, injunctive relief, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Count 4. Plaintiffs reincorporate by reference all of the allegations of this complaint as if the same were fully rewritten herein. Plaintiff has various contracts and business dealings with third parties, including YouTube Partnership Program, and YouTube subscribers. At all relevant times, defendant had knowledge of those contracts and business dealings. Defendants intentionally attempted to seek and or procured the breach of those contracts and business dealings by the conduct described herein. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's tortious interference, plaintiff has been damaged in excess of $25,000, and defendants jointly and severely are liable for those damages. Defendant's conduct was performed with actual malice and or reckless disregard of the plaintiff's rights, such that the plaintiff should be awarded punitive damages against the plaintiff or against the defendants in excess of $25,000, injunctive relief, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Count 5. Plaintiff reincorporates by reference all of the allegations of this complaint as if the same were fully rewritten herein. Defendants intended to cause emotional distress to plaintiff or should have known that their actions would result in such or in serious emotional distress to these plaintiffs. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's conduct, the plaintiff has suffered great distress concerning the damage to their reputation, economic welfare, community standing, ability to continue to employ hardworking members of the community, and fear of physical harm. Defendant's conduct was so extreme and outrageous as to go beyond all possible bounds of decency and was utterly intolerable in civilized society. I love that line. I fucking love that line. Defendant's actions were the proximate cause of the plaintiff's psychic what? Defendant's actions were the proximate cause of the plaintiff's psychic and physical injury. Oh, okay. All right. Injuries. I'm thinking psychic is in another definition or whatever. Oh, of course. Yeah, of course. Claire, of course. Sorry, I just saw your message. Of course you can. Just give me a few minutes. The mental anguish suffered by the plaintiff was serious and of a nature that no reasonable person could be expected to endure it. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's actions, plaintiff is entitled to actual damages in an amount in excess of $25,000, jointly and severely, and injunctive relief plus interest at the statutory rate per annum, cost of suit, court costs, and such other and further relief as the court may deem just and proper. Defendant's conduct was performed with actual malice and or reckless disregard of the plaintiff's rights, such that the plaintiffs should be awarded punitive damages against the defendants in excess of $25,000. Wherefore, plaintiff prays for judgment against the defendants jointly and severally as follows. The defendants be found liable for defamation, and that plaintiff be awarded damages in an amount in excess of $25,000 to be determined at trial, and an award of punitive damages in excess of $25,000 to be determined at trial. The defendant be ordered to remove all video content referenced in this complaint from his YouTube platform and enjoined from making any further defamatory statements about plaintiff on YouTube or any other public social media platform. The plaintiff be awarded his reasonable fees and costs incurred in connection with this action, and the plaintiff be awarded such other relief as the court deems just and proper. Okay, yep. So there's that. I'm going to go through the exhibits. I want to just take a moment here and check chat, since I have not been watching the chat at all since I started streaming. I'm just going to scroll through real quick here and see if I've been tagged at all. Oh, you're welcome. So yeah, if anyone here needs to get my attention or anything, just tag me, because when I do this, I just scroll through and I look for the orange box. If I don't see the orange box, then I don't really see my name half the time. So just be sure to tag me. And if I miss something, I'm sorry. Hopefully you'll consider reposting it with the tag, because I should have said something earlier. Yeah, I do. I have all that information, Claire. In fact, all I have to do is, in fact, here, if I send you something, can you redact information for me and then send it back to me so I can post it? That would be swell. I can send it through Twitter. I have that open right now. Oh yeah, and you just messaged me, so there we go. Okay, go away. Why is that there? Okay. It just takes a second to pull up. That's all. But I'm going to be sending you the screenshot of the filing. I trust you, Claire. So I think people in the community know that they can trust you to not like spread information like that, you know, from about people. So Christ, you probably have more dirt on everyone and anyone in this community, and no one would ever know. So there you go. Yeah, but if you can just redact addresses, that'd be super big help. But there you should have like the number and everything you're asking for. That'll be on that. But I'll still send you, you know, the PDF too. All right, let me go back to chat. I just want to point out though too, like I think that the amount that they're asking for is, I think it's a smart move strategically speaking, because if they ask for too much, I think that they run the risk of I don't know, just it not being taken seriously. But if they ask for too little, then again, not being taken seriously. But I think the amount in which they're asking for, I think is an amount that will at the very least not cause this lawsuit to not be taken seriously. But also, I think it's enough to where Unirock might actually consider a settlement of some kind. And since, unlike what we've seen with Katie Joy's lawsuits, you know, where the petitioner had been after a bit of, you know, information like sources, for example, JLR is not after any sources. So I think for this case to be resolved in any way by settlement, it would include admittance of defamation of some sort on Unirock's part. I think it would require that. So that's why I think that the amount they're asking for is actually quite smart strategically. But again, I reiterate, I say this all the time on this channel whenever I'm reading like court documents or anything legal related. I'm not a lawyer. I've never worked in a law office. I know really well, besides like a cousin who's a lawyer, I don't really know any lawyers that well enough to have any kind of inside information on the law. Do not take my word as fact. In fact, take it with the huge grain of salt. And if you want actual like professional opinions on this, do not come to my channel for it, because you will not find it here. I personally recommend Uncivil Law or Emily D. Baker, but there's many other channels in the LawTube community in which you will find much more professional opinions than mine. Seriously, if you're here for any law opinions, like you need to reevaluate your choices in life. I'm good at satire, and I'm not good at law. But anyway. Okay, I'm going to go back and let's look at these exhibits now. Let me make sure this is still streaming. Yep, okay. All right. So, Exhibit A is a live stream. Trigger warning, JLR, Jonathan Lee Riches, cowards, confronted, targeting town civilians with docs stalking. Fuck, I can't with these titles. Where I don't. Can you enlarge this? I wonder, is this just like providing a timestamp or something? I'm wondering if the screenshot, this specific screenshot is included, you know, featuring the chat or whatever, because it's showing something else. I don't know. Oh, no, wait. He's streaming Menace. He's commentating on Menace to Sobriety's video titled Jonathan Trag Pimpin' Undoxed. Huh. I wonder what's in that video. Huh. Menace might want to be worried or concerned about that too. I don't know. Let's see what's up here. Same thing. Okay. 8, 9, okay, 10, okay. Oh, here we go. Now we have the description of the video. Timestamp. Oh, yay, timestamps. Okay, all right, here we go. 40 seconds. Dude, can I just say that I think a lot of us kind of felt sorry for the members of the law team that had to comb through all of Katie Joy's videos, but I just want to say that I think that law team got off pretty easy compared to this one. Whoever it is that had to comb through Unirock's lives, hours upon hours of just nonsensical speak in his live streams. Dude, you deserve a medal. Like, and probably a life supply of like Adderall, because you probably used up every bit of like attention ability you had for like your entire life. You used it all up in these past few weeks. So hopefully this is something that just doesn't deplete over, excessive use. So anyway, at the 40-second mark, immediately at the beginning of this live stream video, Jason Smith states as fact that Jonathan Lee Riches, aka JLR, is stalking, harassing, and pretending to report and trolling so he can make money off of unwitting people. This is a brazen accusation leveled against JLR of criminal activity, which is objectively false and unsubstantiated. JLR is an independent journalist who covers cases nationwide by traveling to locations of interest and reporting from the scene. He is exercising his First Amendment rights, which were validated and defended by police in the full video footage of JLR's live stream that Jason Smith chose to selectively edit for this defamatory live stream. Accusing JLR of crimes such as stalking and harassment is defamation per se, intended to harm his reputation and cause him humiliation and intentional emotional distress. Timestamp 317. Jason Smith defames JLR by referring to him as a tragedy pimp, as he knowingly and falsely states as fact that JLR does not actually look for missing people and that his work is not actually reporting. There is a series of JLR's videos which document the approximately 10 hours in total that JLR spent searching for Sarah. One of these videos, in fact, is the very video that Jason Smith selectively edited for the purpose of defaming JLR in his live stream. JLR's videos show him searching for several hours at a time in dangerous and uncomfortable conditions in the Bell Creek Nature Preserve. Okay, no, don't go. Timestamp 413. Let me switch this. All right. In this segment, Jason Smith falsely states that JLR is not the press and states as fact that he is a stalker and that he steals identities. These are criminal accusations that are unfounded and proven false by the video itself. Defamatory statements like this are intended to cause harm to JLR's reputation, fraudulently misrepresent his work as a journalist, and to fabricate a justification for the directed and targeted harassment he encourages his viewers to participate in as he instructs them step by step to mass report JLR's accounts. Quote, do you see how I believe this is him, or maybe someone with them wearing press shirts when they're not the press? When they're not the press, this is LARPing. You're causing problems with the neighbors and everybody else. This man is a stalker. He is a creeper. He steals identities, and now he is in this neighborhood. Okay, stop putting Bull B's lies on your feed. Now notice he says, who are you? Because he knows immediately he's going to dox this person. He immediately knows this is his defense mechanism, because he knows he's LARPing. He knows he's lying. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't interact with this person in any kind of professional way. He becomes almost a robot. Who are you? Let me have your name. Let me have your details. Let me have details about you. So it does make sense that later he stalks them. It's quite a different experience. Experiencing Unirock's words, reading them when you have to read them, as opposed to just listening to them. I mean, it's nonsensical and just mind-numbing to listen to, but it's a whole nother world of stupidity when you actually read them out loud. I just want to point that out there. Anyway, again, and I know I said I would do this without any kind of feeling or emotion on it, but come on. Fucking come on. All right. Timestamp 606. Jason Smith falsely states that JLR made a post about Nick. He knows this is not true and that JLR has never posted anything about Nick on any of his social media pages in any form. Mr. Smith is also attempting to dehumanize JLR by stating that he is not a quote unquote normal human being. These statements are deliberately intended to defame JLR and cause him humiliation and damage to his reputation. Quote, now, if only Nick knew who he was dealing with, if only Nick would have known that he's not talking to a normal human being. He's not talking to someone that made the original post about Nick because it was true. Timestamp 48:59. They, quote, they had video of her walking into the reserve. You're not at the reserve. You're not looking for her, JLR. Factually. He even said factually. Oh my god, I love it. That's fucking, it's some funny shit right there. Factually. Dumbass. All right. 10, 12. All right. With a reckless disregard for the truth, Jason Smith repeats the lie that JLR wasn't in the reserve, searching for Sarah multiple times throughout this live stream. By making these statements as fact, he knowingly committed defamation per se with actual malice against JLR in an effort to smear his reputation and with the intent to encourage his viewers to stop supporting his work. There are hours and hours of footage showing JLR searching for Sarah in the Bell Creek Nature Preserve, even within the same live stream video that Jason Smith chopped up and edited to fabricate a false narrative. Timestamp 1454, quote, yesterday I played Betty, your sister who helps you in your job, who works with you, who does what you do. Jason Smith states as fact that Betty, another YouTuber, is JLR's sister and helps him in his job and works with him. All of these statements are categorically false and not based in reality. JLR does not work with any other creators, and he covers all his cases independently with no collaboration from any other channels. In fact, JLR is well known for traveling solo and conducting searches on his own for missing people. It is part of his channel branding, true crime and travel, and it's one of the specific and unique things his subscribers admire about his work. Mr. Smith's false statements undermine the tireless work JLR does and are harmful to his reputation as an independent journalist. JLR has one moderator on his channel who works as a channel producer and brand manager. No one else works on the channel. This is easily verified by viewing JLR's extensive catalog of work on his channel called JLR Investigates. No other creators are ever shown in the field with JLR or investigating cases with him because he is truly an independent investigative journalist. This particular theme of lies forms much of the foundation of the overwhelming amount of defamatory content aimed at JLR on Jason Smith's channels. For whatever reason, Mr. Smith appears to be dangerously obsessed with various YouTube personalities, and disturbingly, JLR is one of them. All of Jason Smith's videos targeting JLR include other creators that JLR is not associated with. Mr. Smith chooses to lump JLR in with controversial and problematic YouTube channels in an effort to humiliate him and to encourage his viewers to follow suit. Mr. Smith knows full well that JLR only worked with a few creators on a couple of cases in the distant past. But he would like people to believe that JLR is somehow part of a network of unsavory YouTube creators and therefore guilty by association. He knows this to be false, yet continues to use this tactic as clickbait for his thumbnails and as a weapon of defamation against JLR. Timestamp 33:47. Are we still on the same video? Seriously? in which Jason Smith admits he's, quote, focused on trying to embarrass JLR. This is a blatant admission of malicious intent to defame JLR and damage his reputation, which is meant to incite hatred and humiliation and harm his ability to earn a living by conducting the act of journalism on his independent YouTube channel. Oh, wait a minute. Where did I leave off? Oh. Okay. He goes on to state as fact that JLR, quote, has a problem, an issue with women, unquote. Jason Smith does not know JLR. He has never met him or spoken to him, so he could not possibly know the nature of his relationships or interactions with women. Despite this, he intentionally and maliciously makes defamatory statements in an effort to irreparably harm JLR's reputation. He further states as fact that JLR knows who visited someone's house in the neighborhood, or knows who visited someone's house, and falsely states that JLR called the man in the video a murderer. These statements are egregious lies told with a reckless disregard for the truth. JLR spent many hours in the preserve near this neighborhood searching for Sarah, and his every move is documented on video because he live streamed the entire time he was there. It is verifiable fact that JLR never accused anyone of murder, and he also never visited anyone's house. Quote, "Look at how you went at Queen Bee, but not me. And I embarrassed you way more than Queen Bee has. Not to say I did anything better than Queen Bee. I just focused on trying to embarrass his soy boy, as Queen Bee was more trying to tell the story. And she did embarrass him too. But I'm just saying, he has a problem with women. This man has an issue with women. To me, we're making accusations. Yes, you do. You do know who's visiting his house. You know who's doing this. And you know you caused it. Look at how much of a lying baby you are. Look at this. You aren't minding your damn business, liar. How in the world is accusations calling him a murderer? How in the world is inciting these sheep in your audience?" 3545 timestamp, in which Jason Smith openly threatens JLR with never ending defamation and harassment unless he makes content Mr. Smith approves of. That line right there, too. This is the freaking problem with this morality and accountability police on YouTube. These channels, some now, as I don't want to just say channels, some viewers, whatever, just people in general feel like it's their right and almost like their responsibility to harass the shit out of a creator until they conduct themselves and their channel to their liking and which suits them. That's crazy. Can we all just stop that shit? I know people won't, but whatever. Quote, "I just found out who this guy is, JLR. It's never going to stop, buddy. It's too late. It's over. I'm giving you a chance, your last one here, to go out and actually do some content that doesn't involve the doxing or the lying or the accusations." Timestamp 1 hour, 27 and 28. Jason Smith encourages his viewers to participate in a malicious targeted harassment campaign against JLR by mass reporting his accounts to Twitter and YouTube. The goal of this directed attack is to harm and or destroy JLR's YouTube channel and prevent him from doing his work as an investigative journalist. Timestamp 127 or 2907. Okay. Jason Smith reads and then immediately and intentionally mischaracterizes a tweet posted by JLR. In the tweet, JLR reports about a public record regarding a petition filed by the missing woman, Sarah, against her neighbor, Stephanie. The petition was denied by a judge the same morning Sarah went missing on 4/10/23. All of this reporting is true and accurate and was of great public interest, being that it was related to a missing woman during an active search. Jason Smith intentionally and falsely states that JLR accused the man seen in this video, William, of a domestic issue. The tweet did not pertain to William, which Jason Smith well knows since he had the tweet pulled up on his screen and had just read it aloud to his audience. Remarkably, he intentionally and falsely claims with reckless disregard that JLR had doxed Mr. Sumner. This was done in part to justify Mr. Smith's gloating about the threats and verbal assault JLR was a victim of by Mr. Sumner in the streets and to assert that JLR deserved to be injured or worse. A journalist reporting newsworthy information in public records does not constitute doxing and certainly does not warrant violence against them. But regardless, JLR did not even mention Mr. Sumner in the tweet that Jason Smith so brazenly lied about. These claims are knowingly and verifiably false and therefore rise to the level of defamation per se with malice. Timestamp 3217. Quote, JLR, you doxing this is going to every platform. I promised you before I told you. You keep doxing. I'm putting it in the hands of the platforms. You can hate me all you want. You can cry all you want. But the people that you're doxing are literally having their lives ruined by what you're doing because you've built not a media empire like your delusions of grandeur tell you. So then what did he build? All right. Yet another false accusation of JLR doxing and stating this as fact when Mr. Smith knows this to be a verifiable lie. He claims to have evidence that he will show later in the video, but of course, the evidence never comes because it doesn't exist, as he well knows. Yep. As we all well know. Oh, I'm not going to say it. Okay. Jason Smith excitedly proclaims, quote, "These are the moments when someone gets hurt. These are the moments when someone gets in a fight or someone gets shot or someone snaps and does this to their brother. It's like a death rattle. We're here, people. We are here." Throughout the video, Jason Smith continuously and falsely states as fact that JLR accused William Sumner of a domestic issue. This never happened. The domestic issue was a reference to the petition Sarah filed against her neighbor, Stephanie, and it was posed as a question as to why Sarah may have filed a complaint against her neighbor. JLR never accused anyone of a domestic issue, and in fact, throughout the several days that JLR covered the Sarah missing person case, he never accused anyone of anything and did not even offer his own opinion as to what may have happened. It was widely believed that Sarah was in danger of self-harm and there were never any accusations made against anyone by JLR. He was solely focused on assisting with search efforts until she was found, and he respected the family's desire for privacy. All of this is easily verified by the series of live stream videos JLR posted on his channel, including the exact video Jason Smith deceptively edited for this defamatory live stream. No. Additional YouTube channel, okay. Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Riches dox me an update on the last couple of weeks, months streamed. Like, well, wait a minute. So Jonathan had doxed you like a week before you even got the letter that you claimed was doxing you and your mother? Like I don't know. Like, how many times can one person be doxed? You know, just, you know. Sorry, my lipstick is coming off. It's bothering me. Bullhorn Betty and Jonathan Lee Riches doxed me an update in the last couple of weeks, months, streamed live on April 21st, 2023. In this video, Jason Smith, aka Rockalot, aka Unirock 2, aka Unirock Live, repeatedly and falsely claims that he was doxed by Jonathan Lee Riches. Accusing someone of an offense such as doxing is a serious accusation with potential criminal implications that could harm JLR's reputation and ability to conduct his work as a journalist. According to Merriam-Webster, the definition of doxing or doxing is to publicly identify or publish private information about someone, especially as a form of punishment or revenge. It is a verifiable fact that Jonathan Lee Riches has never spoken about Jason Smith on his YouTube channel or elsewhere. He has never made a video about him. He's never made a post, comment, or tweet about him, and he has never once even mentioned his name or any of his channels publicly. Therefore, the claim of doxing that Jason Smith continues to repeat in his YouTube videos, titles, and descriptions is knowingly false and constitutes defamation per se due to his reckless disregard for the truth and malicious intent. The purpose of these false statements by Jason Smith is to incite hatred, ridicule, and vitriol toward JLR and to encourage YouTube viewers to participate in directed attacks and coordinated, targeted harassment campaigns in an effort to have JLR's channel taken down, which would rob him of his ability to do his job and make a living. JLR goes stalk-tastic, mails my mother begging her to stop me, ha ha ha. Betty e-begging off Murmurvix. Let me see if I can set this here for a minute. Okay. Oh yeah. Oh, that's doable. Okay. In this video, Jason Smith lies from beginning to end about a letter he received from JLR. He falsely states that the letter was sent to his mother, asking her to stop Mr. Smith from talking about JLR. In fact, JLR sent a retraction demand notice to cease and desist letter to Mr. Smith, advising him that if he does not issue complete retractions of his defamatory statements and provide written assurance of his intent to cease and desist by May 2nd, then legal action would be commenced against him. His response was to willfully disregard the retraction demand and notice to cease and desist altogether and make yet another defamatory livestream video titled JLR Goes Dogtastic, Mails My Mother Begging Her to Stop Me. Ha ha ha, Betty E begging off Mermervix. The thumbnail features more false statements. JLR doxes and mails my mother. And the entirety of the video itself is a whole new set of fabricated and defamatory statements about JLR. Mr. Smith even falsely claims that JLR mentioned a certain creator in his letter, even though this is a demonstrably false statement. Mr. Smith went so far as to send out warnings to that creator in a malicious effort to make people believe that JLR is targeting her. However, he knows full well that the letter was intended only for him, and it is directly related to his incessant and malicious defamation of JLR. Oh, no. Why is it not getting bigger? What did I just do? Okay, let me go back. There we go. Continued defamatory and false statements made on May 1st, 2023, after Jason Smith was sent a retraction demand and notice to cease and desist. He again falsely claims that he was sent a dox letter by JLR and knowingly lies about an individual being named at Queen Bee Escobar. This is an effort to rally support behind him based on fabricated claims that he is being doxed by JLR. Rockalot playlist of defamatory videos about Jonathan Lee Riches. Who made the, I have to know who made the did Unirock make the playlist? Like, I mean, it makes sense, because if people are looking for JLR videos on his platform, it makes sense to put them all on a playlist for people. But I just find it just funny, kind of funny. Okay. JLR investigates and Bullhorn Betty dox me. Show 2. First show on Unirock 2 now starts after April 21st. After another video falsely stating in the title, thumbnail, and video itself that JLR investigates doxed Jason Smith. This never happened, as JLR has never once made a single post or statement about Mr. Smith publicly, and he knows this full well. JLR has also never threatened Jason Smith, and he has never spoken to him directly. JLR investigates and Bullhorn Betty are stalkers. Part 2. YouTubers busted doing what they do. Yet another video falsely stating that JLR investigates is a stalker. Video 1 of 3. Video 1 of 3. Search for Sarah series. Search for missing 38-year-old Sarah, Riverview, Florida, Hillsborough County. Stream live on April 15th. Timestamp. 2 hours, 21 minutes, 30 seconds. After searching for several hours in the preserve, Jonathan walks past the Dreyer residence on the street and calls out to a woman he believes to be a Hillsborough County Sheriff's deputy to ask if there are any updates about Sarah's disappearance or if the family would like to speak to the public to raise awareness and encourage volunteers to come help search. They decline, and Jonathan thanks them and says he hopes Sarah is found soon. He then recaps the conversation to his audience and says, "You got to respect their privacy." He very clearly did not approach the home, knock on anyone's door, or interact with members of the Dreyer family. What the hell? Her time now. There we go. Okay. Search for missing 38-year-old Sarah Dreyer. Okay, streamed the 18th. Video 2 of 3 live stream videos shows JLR spending several hours at a time over 3 different days searching for Sarah in the Bell Creek Nature Preserve. Jason Smith's false statements claiming that JLR never searched for her are defamation per se, and the definitive proof is here. Okay. Okay, April 19th. Video 3 of 3 for the search for Sarah. Video 3 in the Search for Sarah series. In this video, JLR is seen searching the Bell Creek Nature Preserve for several hours before walking back to his car in the neighborhood and seeing law enforcement arrive on scene. He continued his reporting from the scene as more law enforcement arrived, and one of them told JLR that a body had been found nearby. Timestamp 4 hours, 26 minutes. This is the confrontation between JLR and two neighbors who were upset about his reporting on the petition Sarah filed against her neighbor. This is the small section of footage that Jason Smith selectively edited and deliberately played out of context for the purpose of defaming JLR and causing harm to his reputation as a true crime reporter. Exhibit C. Screenshots of tweets from Unirock TV in which he maliciously engages in directed and targeted harassment in an effort to have JLR's channel taken down by YouTube. This mass reporting effort is based on the knowingly false allegation that plaintiff doxed a man and his wife by simply reporting newsworthy information that is fundamental to the act of investigative journalism. YouTube responded to one of his followers stating that the JLR Investigates YouTube channel is flagged. Based on channel analytics included below, plaintiff's video view counts dropped significantly since this targeted mass reporting campaign began and severely impacts plaintiff's ability to earn revenue from his work as a journalist. Unirock writes in this tweet, JLR, or at Team YouTube, JLR Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates YouTube channel live streamed this man asking not to be posted online in video on my Rockalot channel today, then fully doxes him and his wife on community tab. There's Rachel, Unirach, at Team YouTube and Twitter support. JLR Jonathan Lee Riches uses your platform to dox victims of tragedies and spreads misinformation about the victims' families to start a conspiracy over missing persons, etc. Tries to implicate the police during investigations. Okay, more tweets. At Team YouTube, I don't know how many times we have report Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates for his doxing, stalking, harassing. He's a known felon, threatening people, doing background checks, contacting people, and doxing people. How do you allow this? Team YouTube then replies, since the channel is in question is already flagged, we'll have it reviewed soon. We recommend that you continue to report creators that you think are violating our community guidelines. That way, we can take the necessary actions. Appreciate you looking out for the community. Really? Now you're enabling that kind of shit, YouTube. Come on. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me know if you have other questions in the meantime. Unirock says, at Team YouTube, Jonathan Lee Riches Investigates JLR YouTube channel live stream this man asking. Oh, wait, I already read that. Oh my God, this is annoying. Here we go. Someone says, at Team YouTube, I ignore such blatant doxing and exploiting of minors, mostly that have met harm, on your platform by channel owners, YouTube names, Jonathan Lee Riches and Bullhorn Betty. Are you waiting until someone is physically hurt? Asking for about 10,000 friends. Jesus Christ. YouTube, please do something about JLR doxing and accusing or insinuating people doing crime, or insulating or insulating people doing crimes. It's terrible. Then we have wrong one. Channel analytics. Okay, I don't really know much about analytics. I'm just going to show them across the screen for people to. You're going to have to pause it though if you want to see this, because I'm not going to linger here long. Sorry. I don't know. Okay. Well, here's the retraction, or the cease and desist letter. So we're not going to show that. Oh shit. Oops. All right. Let me do this. Escape. I didn't want to show Jonathan's P.O. box. Damn it. I think I did. I mean, I wasn't asked to like cover it up or anything. I don't know. It just felt like I don't really want to be the one that puts it out there. maybe. Let me go through the rest of this. Oh, there was page 28. Okay, that's the end of it. That's the end of it. I'm now going to close that out. And I'm now going to go back to chat for a minute, and then I'm going to read a bit more of an email. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I'm sorry. I didn't even see that. Thank you so much for the gift of memberships. LER, thank you. Oh, my God. Thank you so much. Yay. Let's see here. Is it still up here? Here we go. Okay. Who got him? Who got one? I like to read them out loud. I know it's kind of like it's kind of like a surprise for me too, and I get to see who got him. Read it out loud. So we have Feel the Love, Nano, Vidrina V, Better with the Irish, The Holy Spackle, Pit Mom, T King, Sheila Marie, Slick Fits, and Mo. Curious Idea asked, did I get one? I'm sorry, no, we don't get to choose who gets them. And YouTube just like picks a random, I think. So yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna scroll through. I'll go. Appreciate you streaming this. We'll catch the rest later. Okay, yep, I hear you. I'll send it to you too as soon as I'm done. Thank you. Yep. The tragedy pimps bullshit. What started this bully panels and lies so they have all views every time they mention. Yep, I agree. See, that's the thing. This has been my argument this whole time is that we don't have the right to demand that we're comfortable. We don't have the right to demand that people aren't allowed to say things that we find offensive on social media. So let's not do that. If it's a question of legality, then report it. If it's a question of terms of service, then report it yourself. But when you yourself are trying to incite people to join up with your cause and to mass report a channel because you just disagree, and it's not even a matter of terms of service so much, or you want to think it is, but it's really not, and it's definitely not a matter of legality. Well, we just end up with a whole bunch of people reporting everyone, and we end up reporting ourselves even, or each other, and just it doesn't end. I mean, when is it enough? When do we finally get to a point where we're like, okay, all these channels on the platform are acceptable? We never will, because as soon as we remove the channels we deem to be in question, we then start looking for other channels to be in question and hold nationality based on what we see, what's at our fingertips. I mean, it's bullshit. Okay, I'm done preaching. I'm off the soapbox now. I'm just scrolling through looking for my name again. I actually do, though, go back and check the live stream chat, like after live streams and stuff. So I would probably do that again here. Okay, I don't see anything. All right, let me go back up here. Okay, Hero Sense is still trying to blame. Oh, of course she is. Of course she is. I mean, because she's culpable. She's right there, culpable alongside Unirock, right? She's been propping him, supporting him, helping him push this, because let's see, Unirock didn't get involved until Nonsense was pushing this scam thing. That's Nonsense started pushing that at the end of July. Unirock's first video accusing Letitia of being a scam artist or fraud or whatever wasn't until like August 7th or 8th, I think we found. And Katie herself even said in a live stream that she asked Unirock for help to cover this. She gave Unirock all of her information to help set the narrative for him. Those were her words, not mine, mind you. Okay, and she said this in August. So, I mean, yeah, Nonsense is very culpable because she's here doing his job before he started a job. Just because she now doesn't like him or doesn't deem it suitable for her to be aligned with him changes nothing. And I'm going to say this right now too, like for the last, or not the last time, but again, if hopefully the last time, but it won't be. There is no proof to any of her claims regarding Letitia, regarding any of these fundraisers being have an opinion, but that's not proof. The GoFundMe raised like just over $4,000. That covered her lawyer fees and her traveling and lodging expenses when she went to Arizona. Above and beyond that, on the Cash Apps, was not made through the GoFundMe. It was not made with this explanation or whatever. It was made to help Letitia continue to be there for her son. If that required additional lawyer fees, then so be it. If that required additional travel expenses, then so be it. But she didn't even get a chance to see what that would entail because everyone shut it all down and then just berated her into this point of just not feeling safe to go out there again. I mean, and nonsense led that charge. I find it disgusting, actually. I hate to use it. It is. It's just fucking. It's nauseating that now I hear rabbits say that Letitia has merit for a defamation case, or that or when I hear nonsense say, well, we don't really know how much was raised, when stated as fact multiple times that she did in fact have an idea of how much was raised, and it was an outrageous amount. There is no proof of any of this, and in fact, proof was shown to dispute and debunk much of her claims, but it's just never talked about, and that's bullshit. Because this, like it or not, I don't care if she gave her kid up for adoption when she was a teenage fucking mother, when she didn't really have a whole lot of options. I don't give a shit. That kid never stopped being her son. She never stopped being a mother. No fucking paperwork, no piece of paper is going to change that for any mother. I don't care. So for people to attack her, it's a good thing I got a text. Okay, I'm coming in and out. All right. I was hitting the cord. That might have been why. It figures. People probably didn't even hear. Damn it. I was saying some good shit there too. All right. I'm going to read more of the got from JLR's team because I don't know. It's part of it self-serving. That's why I saved it till now. I didn't want to do it earlier. Anyways. Wait, where am I? Okay. So after I read their email that I already read out loud here, I wrote them back and thanked them, very much for the update and everything. And I said, I'm assuming I still have your permission to share this information publicly. If this is incorrect, please let me know, as I plan to live stream this evening at around 5 p.m. Eastern time. So, and they got back to me and they said, there. Yes, you can share whatever you want regarding this. And if you want to clarify to your viewers why you're the one speaking out about it and not us, it's because A, you asked via press inquiry, and I could tell you are a no-nonsense type of person. You handle yourself in your channel with professionalism. B, at the time you asked, we were already pending litigation, so I did not want to mention that until after the lawsuit was filed. But I did sort of hint to it. And see, although there's no rule saying that they can't discuss the lawsuit publicly, they don't want to. And that's, they really, they're by talking about him on their channel. Oh, it's the same too. Just remind me. That's annoying. And then they state, all he had to do was take down the videos. My hope for this entire situation is to show an example of standing up for what's right and not backing down or giving into bullying tactics. People in this quote-unquote true crime community should understand throwing around baseless accusations about other creators is not okay and will result in consequences and accountability. Unirock is not the only one. There are others who have harassed JLR exclusively, especially and hopefully those people observe the situation and think twice before they continue to defame JLR or anyone else. People can badmouth JLR's past all they want, but he has worked extremely hard to move forward in his life, and he has every right to make a living doing something he's good at and is passionate about. People don't have to like it, and if that's the case, they're free to watch others whose style more aligns with their own preferences. So, yep, that's it. That's the entire. So, what do we think? What the fuck do we think? Oh shoot, I have been streaming on Kick. I never went over Kick and looked at anything. Okay. Sorry, Kick. Hi, Ask Alice. Hi, I see you there. Sorry. Okay. All right, let's see. Yeah, it's not my Wi-Fi. I don't think. Maybe it is. I don't know, because I am out on the porch, but I usually get pretty good Wi-Fi out here. It's just I didn't want to stream from inside because I knew I was going to be talking and reading a lot, and that there would be the TV background of the dog or something. A squeeze pop. I don't know, and figured it was late enough to where people would not be mowing their lawn. So, which I did pretty good at assessing that. I just didn't count for the fire alarm, but it's only a few seconds. Testing. All right, now there should be time. Yeah, now I see the bar. Okay. So back to what I was saying. Thank you though for telling me about no sound. I was addressing heels in the air because they had said respectfully JLR is sucking you in and will take advantage of your hate for uni. JLR has bullied behind the scenes and much more egregiously in the past 3 months. So good luck with it. Here's the thing. No one, I'm not getting sucked into anything. Okay. I'm almost 50 years old, dude. I think I know how people are by now well, I think I got it pretty up. I'm also fully capable of seeing the good and bad in people and agreeing and disagreeing with with the actions that people do. I also know that I'm not going to write anyone off as just completely and inherently bad because they did something I disagree with, even if that bad thing is harassing some of the Sandy Hook survivors. Providing, that's something that they learn from and no longer do, which to my understanding, that is the case. So, and I can move on for that because that's not my damage. That's the victim's damages, and that's their decision to make for themselves. Me, though, in judging a content creator on YouTube, I'm able to get for that, get past it. Like I said, as long as behavior has changed in that regard. And I understand that JLR has or potentially has done. I don't know if any of these things for fact, really. But I understand that chances are, if enough things are said about a person, that some be true. So I can be of the understanding that some of the shit I've heard is true. How about it? What if I told you some of the shit I heard about anyone else here, or what you all have heard about me? Because some of it's going to be true. That doesn't make us bad people. Okay, we got to get over that, because I don't want to be made to pay for my sins of yesterday when I have learned from them, or because people think my intent was ill when it wasn't. I don't know. I'm going to address and treat everyone based on my experience with them, good or bad. And I don't get sucked into anything. I realize more than ever that people are very capable of being shit human beings. They're very capable of sucking at times, but they're also very capable of not sucking at times. And that's my whole point. We all suck sometimes. We do. Get over it. Just learn from it. So I'm not being sucked into anything. And I get it. You don't know me. So I get maybe you're jumping to conclusions or whatever. And whatever. I don't care. I don't even care about it. But time will tell. That's all I can say. Bye, Reverend. Thanks for being here. I hope everything's going well. Or better. Whatever. Oh shit, my phone almost fell. I don't have a case on it. I'm one of those crazy people who has a phone with no case on it. I'm gonna end up regretting that, I know, but it is what it is. Where did I just read that? Yes. Yeah, that's huge. His character was put on full display when Boole died. Wait, the first time EKC talked about this, several members were in here and made the comment, "We're nothing like that. We're nothing like what we are portrayed in Uni's rooms." I don't know who. See, here's the thing. I want to address what Leo says here. That's fine. They can go ahead and do what they need. Meanwhile, we need these idiots to stop real life families and asking for money to do so. Yeah, like, don't get me wrong, I don't agree with going real life in anyone, let alone victims or families. Absolutely, I'm not at all disputing that. I just don't know what that means. I don't know what your statement means. But more importantly, what I want to address, and that is asking for money to do so. People can ask for money for whatever reason they want. I can sit here and say, "Listen, guys, I need money because I want to buy my puppy some puppy clothes." And it's up to you whether or not you give me that money. People can ask for money for any reason. People can request money for any reason, but you're not obligated to give it. And that's what I feel like is being used against people so much, is because people are actually giving money up for what others deem frivolous reasons. Well, it's not for you to decide. I mean, you can disagree with it. You can think that the person giving the money is foolish or doing so foolishly, and you may very well be right. But it seems like people want to enact rules or regulation to stop this. And it's crazy. Then you're going to have people dictating how you spend your money. I don't agree with that. I mean, especially if you're of the people who may spend your money on things that aren't exactly deemed acceptable. But I definitely don't agree with people trying to tell me how to spend my money. So And I want to address that too, because I'm not going to get sucked into this whole email and trolling and stalker thing or whatever. Docs, I don't even know, whatever this shit that went on between the Toddy Westbrook and Without a Crystal Ball lawsuit. I'm not going to get sucked into that shit again this time. I'm not. I don't care how many emails I get. I'm not even going to acknowledge them. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to address them. I'm not going to reply to them. Because if there's one thing I've learned throughout all of my inquiry and research, if you want to call it, just, trying to learn about this type of trolling activity, is that it only lives and breathes so long as you breathe life into it. If you don't, it goes nowhere. It has nothing to further itself upon. So I'm not going to make that mistake again this time. I'm just not. So, and I'm sure as hell not going to, I don't know. I just don't want to get sucked into this shit again. Because, I didn't talk about it much, but some of this shit really got to me. And especially the whole, when people started trying to accuse me of saying that the images I received were satire and shit, when it's clearly not what I said. I want to point out that I had the stomach to continue having that argument anymore, to continue my side of that debate or discussion. I can't stomach it anymore. It's pretty fucking disturbing how many people are more than happy to stomach it for themselves, though. But that's whatever. I'm not going to participate in that anymore because I just don't have it in me. Fuck you. So. And I don't even care to know who's behind them. I don't care to know why. I think it's pretty. I have my opinions. I think we all know that. But the bottom line is it don't matter because we'll never find out. We won't. There's too many people involved doing too many shady things behind the scenes for us to ever know what's verifiable or how to even go about verifying anything. So short of actually getting real life on all of these accounts, we'll never know. And I don't, even if it was acceptable to go real life, I don't have the time, energy, or even money to do so. So we're never gonna know. But I think that's kind of the whole point of it. So, fuck it, why bother? I'm done. I'm out of it. Law enforcement's not even gonna get involved, Worktop. They're not. Think about it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like happy about this. I'm kind of I'm fed up with it though. I'm at to the point where like I'm very cynical, I think, about it. But like they're not. What the fuck are they gonna do? What are they gonna put out, like subpoenas and shit? Or search warrants for people's data or for the data from these platforms? What governing agency is gonna do that? I don't see it happening. I just don't. And plus, these emails and such that I've seen so far, they're not really threatening because for something to be deemed an actual threat in legalese or whatever, it has to be very specific. Someone has to basically state that you are going to harm this person this day and time in this manner. And short of that, it's not deemed actionable. So what agency is going to go through all of this time and energy and money and resources over people talking shit and just sending emails? It's fucked up and it's bullshit. But I don't know. I don't. I think I'm just maybe way too cynical to be the one to ask about this or talk about it. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Somalia, for the super chat. Get puppy some new clothes and toys. I was only kidding. But okay. She does need a new toy because she completely destroyed this alligator we had. It had two squeaky things in it. She ripped it apart. She had it a while though. I gotta say, it was a good toy. It had a good run. And we need to get her. She likes to tear apart stuffed hedgehogs. Well, they're not stuffed. They were stuffed like a squeaky thing. But even though the squeaky thing's been gone for like a month, and the thing is just everything from the inside is all out of it. It's now just the skin of the hedgehog. She loves to keep chewing on that and carrying it around. I think my dog really hates hedgehogs and bees. Like, Punchy would go nuts over a rabbit. If she saw a rabbit anywhere in her yard, like, I had to hold on tight because we were going for a ride. But Clubber really hates bees. She'll run and like the moths and stuff. Anything small that flies like that, she will chase and eat it. It's funny. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I didn't see that. Thank you for letting me know. Let me go back. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Shit. How did I miss that? Oh my god. It wasn't that long ago, it looks like. Thank you so much for the super chat for puppy clothes. She does need a new harness because she outgrew her tuxedo one. I'm bummed about that. She actually looked like a distinguished puppy in that tuxedo harness. Oh well. So, all right. So that's the lawsuit, and my take on all of this. And I want to say too that this gave me the opportunity to do something that kind of warmed my heart a little bit, and I don't know. I feel good about it. I do. I'm not bragging about the thing I did. I'm putting it out there that there was a good moment that this made possible. When I got the lawsuit, and I hadn't even read it yet. I didn't even download the PDF. In fact, I downloaded the PDF just so I could do this. I sent Steve a message, and I told him, I said, "Hey, you mind going over a lawsuit against Unirock for me?" And he's like, yeah. So I sent it to him, and then we talked for a minute. I'm like, I didn't even look at it yet. I was about to, but I'm like, no. I think that the first person who lays eyes on this, it should be Steve. I think he's fucking earned that right. So I'm happy I was able to do that. So if you follow him on Twitter or anything, and you saw him make a tweet saying that he now believes in God, this might be why. So, I mean, the chances, let's face it, it's a defamation lawsuit. The chances of it really, being any kind of successful is, kind of slim. And if there is any kind of success, it's more than likely to come out of a settlement than anything else. And that's a big if. But just having the moment to see someone else standing up against this bullshit, I mean, that I think alone that's enough to put a smile on Steve's face, I think. So. Oh, is Al Capone in here? Shoot, I see someone talking. I saw someone say something about Capone. I don't know, but I was up on Queen Bee's stream briefly the other night, and I wasn't looking at the chat, and it wasn't until later on when I looked at the chat, long after I'd left the stream, I saw Al Capone say, "Hey, give Al a shout out." And I would have, had I seen that. I apologize. But hi, shout out. Even if you're not here, shout out. I felt bad for that. Especially since I think you might have been one of my only allies in that chat. And just to throw a few things out there that are on my mind, I was listening to part of Nonsense's stream earlier. I don't know why, but I was. And she was saying, what the fuck was she saying? So I'm like, oh, I've never even talked to Steve. I don't talk about Steve. I don't know why he keeps tagging me. It's crazy just how badly he wants to talk to me. I got nothing to do with Steve. It's like, how do these people even have a memory? I'm not hitting the cord right. Like, how quickly she forgot, like, streaming Unirock's videos that were solely about Steve and talking about what went down between he and Steve. Therefore, talking shit about Steve. And then she sits there and stream today, like, I don't know why he keeps tagging me. Like, I haven't mentioned him. I don't talk about him. I don't, he's not my content. Bitch, he was your content. Just recently. Anyway. But yeah. Oh. So looking for proof I go real life on people's kids. I don't know what any of that's about. Oh, hi, Queen Bee. Hi. I'm not going to get involved in that argument. Sorry. I got enough shit of my own. Not get involved in that one. You're... All right. So, on that note, anyways, I think I covered it all. I don't see my name tagged or anything anywhere else. So I'm going to wrap this up, I think. I'm hungry. I'm going to go eat dinner. And I don't know. I will go back through and look at the live stream chat, though, throughout the night. So, thank you again to JLR and JLR's team for sending me this update, trusting me with this, and just choosing to continue this correspondence up. I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, hopefully that continues. So let's see. And I look forward to see the next steps that transpire from this lawsuit. And I gotta say, I mean, it is one thing to give an opinion, even if it's a bullshit, like crazy, outrageous opinion. Just if you have a platform of people who listen to you, you have a responsibility to state that as such. And yeah, it's not hard. I mean, I do it all the time. I think I do it correctly. I don't. If not, I'm sure I'll get sued and find out. But I mean, I try to anyways. So, but yeah. Oh yeah. Why was someone saying something about me or what? Yeah, no, let me just say anything that I see or experience in anyone's live stream chat, I do not ever in any way, shape, or form blame that creator for that live stream chat. Each and every person is responsible for their own actions, including what it is they choose to put out there on social media in a live stream chat. Those are the only people I may or may not hold responsible for anything. I will not hold anyone else responsible for that. So I want to just state that. And I want to say that Queen Bee has treated me with respect and fairness every time I've come by. And I thank her and I appreciate that from her. So I just want to make that clear. That's all. But okay, on that note, I'm out of here. Bye. Have a good night, guys. See you around.